My name's David Brown, and I'm a practitioner of Chinese medicine and a lecturer now for over 45 years. I have a particular interest also in what we might call a holistic approach. Chinese medicine, in fact, is a holistic medicine. And what that means is it doesn't just work on the physical body. We consider an energetic body. You may have seen a diagram or a model like this that shows energetic pathways. And some of these models go back thousands of years. So we work on this, which is a foreign concept to us here in the West largely, but that's a very, very fundamental part of Chinese medicine and acupuncture. It's also a part of Ayurveda, the traditional Indian medicine, but that's another story. So we have a physical body, we have an energetic anatomy, if you like. We also, in Chinese medicine, recognize that specific emotions correspond to specific organs, such as anger corresponds to the liver. So you'll have sayings such as an angry person will end up having liver problems, and people with liver problems are often angry. So we see this not necessarily one producing or preceding the other, but just that this is what happens. We also have an understanding that there's a psychological process that goes along with each one of the organs. If we go back to the liver again, some very ancient books, 2,500 years of age, talk about the liver as being a military strategist. So in an ideal world, any anger that we do produce is directed towards what could be called the enemy. We locate and understand what it is that anger wants, what it's being generated for, and how to use it in an appropriate way. Lastly, each organ is said to have its own spirit. And in the case of the liver, the Chinese called it the hun. It's synonymous with the Christian soul, and it's a part of our being that has the biggest, broadest picture of our life and our life's purpose, perhaps. And so this is what we mean by holistic. One of the things I hear clients say over the years is that they go to a doctor and they feel that they're not being fully heard, or that something's missing in the process. So this is something that Chinese medicine has the ability to fill in those gaps. So to find out what's going on, we go through a simple diagnostic process that involves firstly asking a lot of questions, in which case we might see things in body language and the way the person speaks. We ask pertinent questions about family history, their own personal history, the types of conditions that they have, what aggravates them, what makes them better. We go through a system called pulse diagnosis. It's the next key factor, which dates back thousands of years. And we feel on 3 positions on each side of the body, and they roughly correspond to the upper, middle, and lower parts of the body on the left and right hand sides. The tongue is used. It tells us a lot about digestion, but not exclusively. It tells us about other areas of the body. And lastly, and becoming really my favourite system, is an abdominal diagnosis where we palpate the abdomen, and that can direct us towards specific herbs as well as acupuncture treatment. So talking about treatment, it consists largely, Chinese medicine, of acupuncture, which most people understand is inserting needles into the acupuncture points that are on the pathways. And we also use the burning of a herb called moxa in close proximity to the points. We don't set out to burn you, although this is done in China. It's mainly to warm points, to change the energetic potential along the energy pathway, which in turn is connected to the internal organ. But as we said before, it's a holistic system. So in doing that, it can change how we feel emotionally. It can create more clarity in our lives. People often find it very difficult to put words to how they feel after acupuncture. They say they feel more balanced, more centered. Other techniques we use in acupuncture typically are things like vacuum cupping, all of which are designed to affect the energetic system. But I also really enjoy working with Chinese herbal medicine. And so in a nutshell, that's what I do. But I've also, in my early days of practice, was very sensitive to feeling people's energy or their emotional state. I've noticed that. And so with that window, I proceeded to study psychotherapy and counselling. So when we go through a diagnostic procedure, understanding that holistic model, it can give me a window into where a person's challenges are. And so my job is not only to give acupuncture and herbs, but also to support them in understanding what's going on. It's a little bit like a map. You know, this is where you've come from, this is where you are, these are the issues, obstacles that you need to overcome to arrive at a better state of mind and body. So I thank you for listening, and it's my great pleasure to supply any support or care to your situation. Thank you.